Previously, I talked about the film X, which came out in 2022, directed by Ty West. And keep in mind, it is the first of three films in Ty West's X, Pearl, Maxine trilogy. Now, to give a little recap, in X, we had five young adults that go to a farm to film an adult film called The Farmer's Daughter. And the farm is owned by Pearl and her husband Howard. And when this elderly couple sees what these youngsters are doing, they're like, nah, if we haven't gotten our freak on in years, you ain't about to do it on our property. And all types of chaos and killings ensue. Now, we have the second film, which is a prequel to X, simply titled Pearl, in which Mia Goth reprises her role as Pearl from the previous film. Now, this film takes place in the year 1918, at the time that World War I and the Spanish flu pandemic is going on around the world. Pearl is living on this farm with her mother and her father. And by the way, they're German immigrants. Okay? Her strict mother at that, who keeps her isolated from everyone else. And also at the same time, Pearl's husband, Howard, he's off fighting in World War I. Now, Pearl, she has dreams of becoming a movie star. She thinks about the spotlight, the big stage, and all that stuff. But the thing is this. What is Pearl willing to do to follow her dreams and pursue what she believes is her destiny to be a star? Well, let me say this much. When the movie starts off, we see that Pearl is already batshit crazy. I mean, she's already talking to the farm animals, and there's a duck that walks in the farm, okay, in her barn. And she kills this duck with a pitchfork and takes the duck out to the lake and feeds it to the alligator that lives there, her pet alligator, which she calls Theta. Now, if you've seen X, yep, that's that same alligator that's been there for years, so that makes a lot of sense. And yes, alligators can live up to 100 years, a very long, long time. Not only that, Pearl is verbally abusive to her father, who's in a wheelchair, and again, he is sickly and can't do anything. And to even prove how much more crazy that she is, if she gets the slightest inkling that you're up to some shit, she's going to kill you. And she also has sex with a scarecrow out in a cornfield. Yes, you heard that correctly. She takes a detour off into a cornfield, sees a scarecrow, takes it off his hilt, and talks to the scarecrow like, I'm married and I have a husband, but she proceeds to make out with the scarecrow until she climaxes. And I'm going, yeah, this girl is obviously not right in the head at all. Now, I got to give credit where it's due. Mia Goth plays Pearl so well in this movie that I'm pretty damn sure if I saw Mia Goth in real life, I would probably turn the other way, because anytime an actor or an actress plays a role and they play it so well, you're convinced that are they acting or is this really them? And Goth, she knocks it out the ballpark, but at the same time, I'll be like, yeah, if I ran into her, yeah, she might try to stab me for real the same way that Pearl did. That's how convincing she is in this role. Now, overall, it is a decent villain origin story that shows how Pearl comes to be. Well, then again, I'm not going to say how she comes to be. It just shows that she's been like this for the longest. And then when you see the movie X, it pretty much further cements that, yep, Pearl wasn't right in the head to begin with. And that is a very scary, scary thing indeed. So Pearl, I like it and I recommend it. For anyone that loves horror movies, watch it. Just my thoughts, just my opinion. And as always, just saying.